All right. Welcome to HS4893 Mental Health Administration. Thank you for all the emails that I've been receiving with questions and about the topics and everything. I appreciate that. I've been answering them as I've been able to. I don't have any internet at my house, so that's been part of the problem with getting back to you guys. So I apologize for that. Um, this is a brief PowerPoint about, well, it's not so brief, but about the signature assignment, which is a bulk of your grade. So with that, let's just carry on. This is, you can read this stuff. I want to get to the point, stuff about where to go. Okay, so section one is just the title of your program, a brief description of what your program is about, one paragraph. The mission statement. In a nutshell, these are important points about your mission statement. It summarizes the official goals of the agency. Remember that some of your employees choose to work for you because of your mission statement. It just needs to be short, concise, powerful, and something your employees can memorize and would be proud to recite. So the mission statement is only a few sentences long, but you try to pack all that stuff into it. There's lots of examples of mission statements online. I suggest that you look at several, and maybe even in the field that you want to create your agency for. And here, of course, is a video on how to write a mission statement. Your value statement. This is sometimes integrated into your mission statement, but for this purpose, we're going to have you separate them. And what are your values? What does your agency value? Purpose. What purpose does your program serve? Okay. And again, this is going to be similar to your mission statement, but just in plain words, maybe a paragraph. What's the purpose of your program? Needs assessment. Okay, you are not actually conducting a full needs assessment, but you do need to create an instrument and fulfill this and satisfy this portion. Now there is an example that you have a link to. This one is huge. I mean, it's 80 some pages long. Obviously, we're not going to do that long of a needs assessment because we don't need to. But your needs assessment should be relatively 8 to 10 pages long, and should show that you've made a needs assessment, that you have created a reason, a purpose for your service. Okay. So the beautiful thing is you can make up data. You can use data from your actual county or city, wherever you're living at. It's nice to use real data whenever possible, but if it's not available, then you're going to create your own needs assessment instrument, and you can fill in the data. And so make it something that's realistic. You know, if your county has 10,000 people living in it, you're probably not going to get 10,000 results. You're probably going to get 500. And so use that data, though, to show a need. You're going to develop a brief survey, an instrument, to see whether or not your human services program is needed. And you are okay to use existing surveys. You just need to cite them. Okay. Is this section, you're going to summarize the tool, the survey, the questionnaire, etc., that you hypothetically use to assess your need, how you used it, did you mail it out, did you conduct a phone line, did SurveyMonkey, etc., and also include your findings. Okay. Did the need support assessment support your program? And since you get to make up the data, it should support your program. The demographic data, okay, this is a section that's included to supplement your needs assessment. and it should show you the information regarding your area, and it should support also any data that you can find that will support your area. Vision and goals. You're going to answer these questions. Why is this agency important to the community? And what do you hope to accomplish by starting this program? What do you hope to contribute to your community? And what are the future plans for expansion of your program? And you should be able to use your needs assessment to fill in identified gaps in services. So that's what your hope is. This is just a really simple section. How are you going to start your program? What dates are you going to use? When are you going to get a building? When are you going to get your staff? When will you apply for grants, etc. So just be mindful of, this is just kind of a plan. Just like it says, implementation plan. What kind of relationship will you have with the community? For fundraising, open houses, schools, hospitals, clinics, etc. How are you going to interact with the people within your community and the professionals within your community? Organizational structure, and yes, you need to actually create a structure map. So who's your agency? How is your agency going to be organized? Who answers to whom? Supervisors versus supervisees, and what employees are on the same level. Be sure to include an actual organizational chart. And here are some examples. Job descriptions. You are required to have at least 3 distinctive different employees for your program. So you could have a job description for the director, you could have a job description for a therapist, and you could have a job description for an administrative assistant or the janitor. Whatever you want, they just got to be 3 separate ones. You can't just put 3 therapists, okay? So they got to be distinctly different. So you've got administration, you've got the director, you've got therapist, whatever, physical therapist, okay? And these should be like 1-page job descriptions that you would find on Indeed, etc. Marketing and materials. It is important that you effectively market your proposed human services. So create a website. Or will you have a website? Will you rely on social media, place ads in newspapers, public service announcements, etc.? Send out flyers in the mail. How are you going to do this? At least make an example of a card and brochure. So put your program on a brochure, highlight the different services that you're going to offer, and have an example business card. Policies and procedures. You need to write at least 5 policies and procedures. These are not one-liners, okay? If you're going to do the dress code, you got to be specific in the dress code. Business or casual business attire, no open-toed shoes. Be specific, so that you get the idea across of what's going on. Some of these might be related to HIPAA or confidentiality. So just make sure, and I've got some examples in that on the very first week of what you might be able to see as far as policies, procedures. And again, you can borrow them from your facility or wherever you work from if you have permission and if you cite them, okay? Advisory board, you may or may not need an advisory board. Make sure that you make an argument for your rationale if you decide not to have one. Board of directors. Again, you may or may not need one, but we're going to have you create one for for this. You're going to include a list of individuals, and you may use fictitious or pretend names serving on your board of director and specify their current position in the community. And you want to strive to assemble a diverse group of community leaders. Volunteers, whether or not you're going to use them. If you're not going to use them, then just write your rationale for not using them. If you're going to use them, then be specific about how you're going to use them. It doesn't have to be more than a couple paragraphs describing how you're going to use them if that's the case. The budget, okay. I just want a very simple outline for your budget. I've included that in the examples in that first week. So make sure that you go back and you look at a budget. It should be an itemized budget. It doesn't have to be specific as far as like $10 on a toilet roll or whatever for toilet paper. But it does have to include all of these things. So utilities, rent, office supplies, at minimum these things. Grant writing, list your findings about any grants that may be specific to your program, state, federal, or private. And then write about them. If you've got, just don't overdo this, but if you find 2 or 3 grants, then just briefly write the grant that you would apply for, when it's supposed to be due, and the time frame, and the amount that you're writing for. Any legislative issues. For instance, with COVID-19, we have the ability to do telehealth, right? So is telehealth available for everybody? No, but it might be something that is useful for yours. Program monitoring, program evaluation. So you're going to address what program evaluation is and why it's important, what are the outcome measures, and also answer the following questions. How will you evaluate your program? Who will do the evaluating? Clients, self-evaluation, employees, in an organized type of evaluation, maybe an exit interview with your people that you provided services, or will the community itself provide you information? What type of information are you looking for? How will you know if your agency is working? How will you know when you have made a difference? And what will the community look like when you have made a difference? References were cited. These are all according to APA guidelines. Please go to Purdue OWL. It's Purdue Online Writing Lab, and use them so that you can get proper citations, both in-text citations and references, okay? And they're just references. It's not references in works cited. I should change that. So if you need to contact me, please either use the help interaction on the side of your shell, a place that I put in there to ask questions, or email me. I've had many emails, so that's fine too. All right. Thank you and have a good day.